Hey, Robin Robbins here, founder and author of TechnologyMarketingToolkit.com with a quick video to answer a question I get all the time. And the question is, what's the first step an MSP, or really any IT company or any company for that matter, should take when considering a marketing strategy? And the biggest challenge, the biggest problem is that most companies, when they start thinking about marketing their business, they immediately go to tactics. So they start thinking, well, should we be doing Facebook ads? Should we set up a Twitter account? Should we do direct mail? Should we start doing trade shows? Should we hire a telemarketer or a salesperson? And that is the absolute worst place to start, because you're starting with tactics instead of starting with strategy. It would be like if you were building a house to say, well, let's start designing the interiors, like what type of sofa should we have, or what type of sink do we want in the kitchen, versus looking at your floor plans and where the house is going to be first. So the first thing you got to consider is who you're going to be marketing to. And there are 7 words that will give you the single biggest competitive advantage in business, in pricing, and in marketing. And I'll give credit where credit's due. I first heard it from Dan Kennedy, who's been a mentor of mine for several years. But that is, start with the who, not the what. Now think about this. I get calls all the time from MSPs, IT consulting companies, and the biggest challenge they're dealing with is price. They say, you know, I go out to the marketplace and one of the biggest objections I get is, oh, we've already got somebody, which you know whether or not they've got somebody or not. I think they're kind of blowing you off, but there's that. And then once they get in the door, it's the price is too high. They're trying to pitch them on a managed contract and they're used to paying for break fix or whatever, or maybe the prices are just higher, and they constantly run into this. But think about how most MSPs and IT consulting businesses go about creating their price structure. What they do is they go and look at what all their peers are charging. So they go to industry events and they get on blogs and they talk to their vendors and they say, hey, can I see a contract? Let me see what your contract is. And what they're looking for is, what are they including and what price point, okay? And then what they do is they model their service offering after what they see the marketplace offering. And they might go a little bit cheaper to give themselves a competitive advantage, or they might go a little bit higher. But either way, they essentially end up selling pretty much the same package of stuff at the same price point as everybody else in their market. And then when they go out to the marketplace and say, hey, buy from me, they're stumped as to why people won't pay attention to them, or they think their price is too high, because you've just designed a business model that looks exactly like everybody else and the same thing they can get everywhere else. So why should they pay more for your services, and why should they go with you versus the 20, 30, 50 other MSPs or IT service providers, or even options they have in their marketplace? So the key here with all marketing is you got to get very crystal clear on who your ideal customer is. And you have to know that first before you start doing any kind of media buy, before you hire a telemarketer, before you do anything. Because if your ideal target market, let's say, is medical doctors in the medical niche, the question you got to ask yourself is, you know, well, should we be doing Facebook? Well, I don't know. Are your doctors going to Facebook? Are doctors spending a lot of time there? If not, then it's probably a waste of your time, at least at this point in the game, to go and spend a whole lot of time in figuring out how to post ads on Facebook. Now, if your target market, maybe they're marketing agencies, maybe they have a presence there, and that makes sense because your target market goes there. Same with trade shows, same with direct mail. Again, you got to be really clear on the who. When I ask people this question, when I'm talking about MSPs and IT consultants, one of the most common questions, or one of the most common answers they'll give me is, they'll say, well, businesses that are between 10 and 100 computers. Well, guess what, fool? That is not a market. First of all, the CEO of a 10-person company is an entirely different animal than the CEO of a 100-person company. They have different needs. They're going to have different technologies. They're going to have different wants. Even in niches, a doctor's office is going to have entirely different needs than, say, like a marketing agency. So again, the best thing you can do is really get clear on this. And I know most people freak out about this because they don't want to narrow their focus. But I'll tell you, the clients and the companies that I've seen doing the absolute best have a narrow focus. In other words, they're focusing maybe on just nonprofits in their area, or maybe they're focusing just on medical offices. Or I've had clients that say, you know, our sweet spot client is between 10 and 30 computers, and we don't even take anybody bigger than that because that's who they can serve best, which is ideal. That's perfect, especially when you're getting starting with marketing. And you can always expand into other niches, but at the beginning, take a look at your best clients now. What do they have in common? And let's try and replicate them. So start with the who, not the what. And questions you want to ask yourself are, who it really is your ideal client? Who is the one that you can serve best? And the way you look at that is you go into your existing client base and you look at the ones that are the most profitable and the ones you enjoy working with the most. Then who can you deliver the best results for? Again, I see a lot of smaller MSPs trying to reach up and get those 100-seat clients, their ideal client that they want. Well, guess what? They probably would implode if they got one of those clients. They might not even be able to deliver the services that client wants. So who can you deliver the best results for? Because really they're going to be your happiest clients. And if you can get those results for whatever that client is, you're going to do great. And by the way, I don't think there's anything such thing as a bad target market. What I do believe is there are bad matches of a product or service offering to a particular target market. So for example, if we were to take Neiman Marcus's product line and pricing and their market promise, their value, their brand to Walmart shoppers, it ain't gonna work, and vice versa. So it's not that Walmart shoppers are bad or Neiman Marcus shoppers are bad, they're just different markets and they require different things. So you've got to model your service offering based on the target market you're going after. Don't try and pick a service offering and then just get everyone to buy it, because that's never going to work. And then what specific problems can you solve for them, obviously, and what's my strategic value proposition over other MSPs? And the fact that you niche is a huge advantage. If you can say we only sell and service and support realtors in this area, or construction companies, or attorneys, or whatever your niche is, even if your niche is we specialize in only working with companies that have 20 or fewer computers, that's a good niche as long as you can articulate that, because that will be a great value proposition. And one tip is stop looking at listening to what everybody else is selling in the marketplace and start focusing on what your customers want. All right, instead of going to industry events and saying, well, how are you charging and what are you doing and how are you delivering, and freaking out because you don't do it. I mean, I'm not saying that's not a good thing to go to industry events and talk to your peers and find out what's going on. I think that's very valuable. I do it myself. But ultimately, it's the customers that you want to focus on. They're the ones writing you the check. The marketplace is very fair and just, and it votes with its wallet. So if you're not getting the customers you want, chances are you're a little fuzzy or a lot fuzzy on the target, ideal, slam dunk customer that you want to serve. Now, along with this video, I've provided a worksheet that you can download and take yourself through to try and find out who is your ideal client. And it might take some work. This is a tough question and you want to get it right, because this is going to be the foundation of your service offering, of your brand, of your website, and all your marketing communications. So go ahead and go through that workbook, and then with this video, I'd love for you to comment and ask me more questions, what you need clarification on, other marketing challenges you're dealing with. So go ahead and also comment on this video. I'll make sure I personally read every single one, and I'll try to respond as many as I can. So go ahead, do that now, and I'll look forward to talking to you in the next video.